Sound check, sound check. Check, sound check. Sound check, final sound check. Testing, 1, 2, testing. Hopefully that's the sound sorted now, I think. Testing. Okay. Apology, we're starting now. I think we should be all right. Let's see what's going on here with this. Oh, what's going on there? Bang, there we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to BWTM Sports. We have a live interview for you tonight. Preparing for Crawford Indongo, the big fight, the fight that's gone completely under the radar. Apologies for the room. I mean, it's a bit echoey, but we're going to try and wait to get this interview with Carson Jones and get this preview show going. So let's see if we can get Carson Jones into the room, and we shall get started. Can everyone hear me clearly? I hope you can hear me clearly. Can you all hear me? Let's see if we can get the sound is clear here. I've done this sound check a few times, and as you can hear, it's a bit dodgy here and there, but it should be good enough room. And It's always good to hear from somebody who knows what he's talking about. So we're going to give old Carson a ring. Anyone say it's clear sound? Good stuff. I know it's echoing a bit, and I have to apologize for that. Carson, can you hear me? Can you speak a little louder, Carson, so people can hear you?
I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay, in the room we have Carson Jones. Carson, how are you feeling?
Feeling good. We're actually just driving back from Hollywood and Santa Monica. We chilled out there for a little bit today, just kind of get a little R&R from training camp. So we're just heading back up the mountain now.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can improve this volume. Give me 1 second. Let's try again. I think people can hear. So I think, first of all, how's training camp been going for you?
Just going, obviously working hard, working with different sparring partners that tall sparring partners that are kind of emulating Margarito style. And the weight's on point, everything's going right as planned.
Okay, so how did the Margarito fight come about? Who decided to make that decision?
Say it one more time.
Who decided to make the decision for you to fight Margarito?
Actually, I was kind of just chilling out. One of his, I had a scheduled fight already, so I was already training, and one of his, promoter contacted my manager and asked if I'd be interested in fighting in Mexico. And I took the opportunity. Just because, for a simple fact, it's a good opportunity, and me winning that fight will put me in a better position for a bigger fight after that.
Do you have any concerns about Margarito based on what's happened in the past with Sugar Shane Mosley and stuff cast on his hands and his, in his gloves? Are you concerned about that coming into this fight, or do you think that's all dead and buried now?
Well, that was a long time ago. I can't really hold that over his head because he paid his dues, served his time, obviously on suspicion. But that is a big sin in boxing, and I think he served his time, and I don't think he's stupid enough to try that again. And of course, me and my team will have people watching the wrapping of his hands, so I don't think we're too worried about that.
Well, the theory is once a cheater, always a cheater. It's about drug testing. Is that something that you're going to be concerned about as well?
There's nothing that's gonna enable Margarito to. There's nothing that's gonna be able to help Margarito beat me tonight. I'm more focused than ever, and I think this is a great opportunity for me, and I'm just gonna go over there and do what I gotta do.
So you're going to be fighting in Margarito's backyard, is that correct?
Yeah, we're fighting in Chihuahua, Mexico.
Do you have any concerns if the fight goes to the scorecards?
I think I've been working hard enough, and you saw me win on a decision. When I go, I always go in predicting I'm going to get the knockout, of course. So there's nothing different in this fight. The knockout.
There were also concerns about Margarito coming back because they said he may be blind in one eye. What are your thoughts on that?
If he's blind in one eye, well, he shouldn't have got to the fight. But like I said, if that's a problem, oh well, it's going to be somebody.
So I've heard also stories that potentially you would target the eye. What are your thoughts to that?
Okay.
There there were reports I heard read in some papers, some media reports online that potentially you would target the eye that was damaged.
I mean, people always say, you know, always say that you're going to target the eye that's damaged, but I'm just going to hit whatever is for me to be hit. You know, there's more than just the head. There's body shots, there's arm shots, there's elbow shots. You got to hit whatever you can take. Because, you know, this guy, he's obviously he's a tough competitor, and you know, it's not just going to be a few shots, break it down. You got to kind of chop the tree down. So I'm, of course, going to, you know, go for the body. I'm going to just hit whatever I can hit and just chop. I honestly don't think he can last 10 rounds of it, but if he can, God bless him.
One guy who didn't last with you is Ben Hall. How's he doing?
You know, I haven't spoken to him in a few months. He was in training camp with us, which actually got canceled. He'll be $100. And apparently he got injured with his, I guess his bicep got injured, so he had to go home. So I haven't really talked to him since. I've seen on like Snapchat and social media. He's staying busy and he has a fight coming up.
I know that you are very close with a man by the name of Triple G, and I'm not too much about him, but reports of him coming into camp his heaviest ever. Can you confirm or deny these reports?
You said there's concerns of what?
He's coming to camp his heaviest ever, like 170 pounds, Gennady Golovkin. Any rumors about those rumors? Is there any truth to those rumors?
You know, I don't really speak on anything that has to do with Gennady. I know everybody works hard in training camp, and I know for 100% he'll be ready come September 16th.
Okay, that's great to hear. Abel, will he be in your corner when you're in Mexico?
Actually, no. Abel's gonna stay back. You know, obviously in training camp, and you know, this is the biggest fight of the year. One of the biggest fights in the past 10 years. So, you know, my second trainer, which
Carson, you're breaking up a bit. You're breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, better. Go ahead. Think about your trainer.
Yeah, my second trainer, he'll be there with me in the corner that night. Ben there, he was there for me with Ben Hall. You know, him and Abel, you know, they work side by side, so that's really all I need.
Okay, let's talk about the fight tonight between Crawford and Indongo. What are your thoughts about Crawford and Indongo's fight tonight, and who are you going with?
Initially, I had never seen him until yesterday. We were all kind of in the gym, sitting around watching highlights of Indongo. I had never seen him until then. But the guy seems like he has a pretty good punch. He's like a pretty decent fighter. I know he holds one or two of the world titles. So obviously I always got to kind of cross with Crawford because he's just such a great all around. You know, I think he'll probably he'll outbox him for a little bit, and then he'll probably pull out the stop it if he pushes.
Carson, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. I heard most of that. I heard that you said he'll box him for a few rounds, and in the later rounds.
Yeah, I just feel like Crawford has too much in his arsenal for Indongo. Although I don't know much about it, it don't seem like he has a decent punch. He's obviously a world champion, so it could probably go either way. But I'm gonna go ahead and lean towards Terrence Crawford.
Okay, so you're leaning towards Terence Crawford. You think that Indongo's got a good punch and it's good skills, but you're leaning towards Crawford. Okay, Carson.
Can you hear me better?
I can.
Can you hear me better now?
Yep. What's your final on McGregor and Mayweather? And did you see the McGregor workout?
I think that McGregor workout was hilarious. I kind of made a video, a mockery of it, but I mean, you know, it's kind of a joke. It's like it reminds me of a circus or something. But you know, I can't knock either one of these guys because they're getting this is unprecedented what they're doing. They're getting, you know, amazing paychecks. So I can't knock them for it, but I just think McGregor has zero chance of winning. The puncher's chance.
Zero chance of winning.
Zero chance.
What do you make of the 8-ounce gloves?
Honestly, I think that's a disadvantage to McGregor. I really don't even know why. I kind of honestly, I disagree with the commission even allowing that. But you know, I guess this is the really big fight. This is something that's never been done before. So they're doing things that have never been done before. So you know, like I said, more power to those guys. I wish I could get some of that money, but you know, congrats to them.
You beat Margarito. Where does that put Carson Jones? What will be the next step after you beat Margarito?
I'm just hoping to get something bigger. Obviously, and Margarito has a big enough name still to where I do believe that will propel him, you know, enable me to get a bigger fight, maybe even like a World Pro Eliminator type of deal. We'll just have to see after this win. Right now, we have to focus on Antonio Margarito.
Okay, and the Sam Eggington fight, is that something that's still in your mind, or do you think you can go back to Sam Eggington?
That's gonna be in my mind until the fight's made. But that's the fight I want.
So
and hopefully, after I beat Margarito, that can possibly put me into something big like that. And, you know, I'm sure that would be huge over there in the UK. And you know, I have a pretty good name over there in the UK, and I love fighting over there in the UK. So hopefully we can get that done. I have no issue going to 147. I just took the opportunity with this Margarito fight just because it was a good opportunity for me.
Just on a side note, would you fight McGregor?
Oh no, say it one more time.
Would you fight Conor McGregor?
Of course. And twice on Sunday.
Would you be concerned of that big left hand that everyone's talking about?
This is boxing, brother. Like, I'm not concerned about anything. That guy, I mean, you know, he's good at what he does. He's good at his craft, but he's not gonna come over. He's not gonna come to boxing. Like I said, I know some 15 and 16-year-old amateurs that will wipe the floor with Conor McGregor. There's no gonna even be. He could beat me, and he's damn sure not gonna beat the best boxer, one of the best boxers, the best boxer of our era to do it, Floyd Mayweather.
There are a lot of people that are backing McGregor. A lot of people are backing McGregor. If McGregor were to do the impossible, if he were to do the impossible, what does that put? Where does that put boxing? If McGregor were to do the impossible,
that leaves boxing exactly where it is. It just puts Mayweather in a bad spot and it damages his legacy severely. Boxing, it doesn't do anything else for anybody else. I just think it would really tarnish everything that Floyd has done up until this point.
okay. Let me think. Is anything else?
Everything except his bank account.
And finally, just for people tuning in, the date of your fight?
I'm fighting Antonio Margarito September 2nd in Chihuahua, Mexico.
And for those people who want to see the fight, will the fight be televised? And if it's being televised, where is it being televised?
Yeah, it's gonna be on. I think it's called Box Azteca. But I'm sure there'll be plenty of links. Even my friend on Facebook will be keeping updating everybody on how to watch it, maybe live stream it. And if you're not my friend, add me on Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm kind of starting to step my Twitter game up, so maybe follow me on Twitter. But I will be keeping my social media pages updated on how to get a link to the fight.
And finally, we've got people in the room live in the live chat. Do you have a message to the boxing fans that are tuning in to listen to you tonight?
As always, I appreciate the support. You know, the British fans, y'all the best sports fans on earth, and of course all my fans. And on September 2nd, expect Margarito to go back into retirement.
Carson Jones, thank you so much for talking to BWTM Sports.
Thank you. Talk to you later, bro.
Thank you, champ. There you have it. That was Carson Jones talking to us. So there's your information there in terms of Carson Jones. He believes that Indongo is a good fighter. He's got good punch power, but he believes that Crawford is the more superior all-round boxer. And Carson Jones thinks that Crawford will outbox Indongo early and stop him in the later rounds. So those are the thoughts there of him. Now, I'm not sure, but I'm sure the main stubborn said to me that at the weekend that the fight would be finalized. Now, I don't know if he's going to want to talk to me now because I don't know if the fight's been finalized or not. So we need to find out whether the fight's been finalized or what his thoughts are. Let me just see where he's at. Let's see if I can talk to him. Right. So I'm just waiting to see what the situation is with Stavern and Wilder. The last I heard is some paperwork was sent and they're waiting for paperwork to come back. That's the last I heard. So, yeah, bear with me. We're going to see if I can get an answer from the chat here. We're going to try. It's thank the lovely people in Dublin for giving me this wonderful room. Nope, he hasn't anything yet. So Bermain is on his way off to a meeting at the moment, so we are pretty much on lockdown on that one. Let me see if my friend Russell Hartley has got anything to say for himself. Hello, Russell. Okay. I'm live. Russell, I'm live. I'm live, but I'm live. I'm on, but nobody can hear what I'm saying, but I'm live. So if you want to have a chat for 10 minutes, we can do live. No, just talk on the telephone. I'll just put you on loudspeaker and we'll talk. You can give us your thoughts. Yeah, I'm putting you in 30 seconds, all right? Okay, just wait on, yeah? Hang on, yeah? Okay, had in the room with me tonight to promote, to prepare for this fight tonight, undisputed with Crawford and Indongo. Russell Hartley. How
are you doing? You all right?
I'm good, champ. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. Not bad, not bad.
So, first piece of the two guys. Or before we talk about those two guys, Dillian Whyte has just knocked out, from what I understand, this guy in a couple of rounds. Your thoughts?
Dillian Whyte's won, has he, yeah?
2-round knockout. Dropped him several times, so I understand.
Well, I didn't watch the guy had been out of the ring in 9 years, and he was 39-year-old, and you know he's ranked to 140 on box reckon. Dillian Whyte in better opposition than that. 2-round knockout, that's more or less what I expected. Is Dillian Whyte now, does that now mean that he fight? Because, in my opinion, he doesn't deserve a world title. You know, what is it? Who's his best win? He's famous for beating Chisora in a split decision in a fight that many felt he lost.
Okay, fair enough. Right, on a fight, the fight between Crawford and Indongo.
Well, it's not started yet.
It was just your preview, your thoughts.
My thoughts are, it's a good fight actually. It's for 4 belts, which is very, very rare. So it's, a lot of people are saying that Crawford's dry at the weight. I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's dry. I think that's just a rumour. But I think he's a world-class operator and he's in my top 4, maybe pound for pound. Guy, but they both got one opponent in common, and that's Ricky Burns. They both basically took Ricky Burns. The Indongo who fought him when he fought Ricky Burns. Ricky Burns was a shell of a man, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit more about other fights that are potentially happening. We've talked before slightly about Sam Sheedy, the Commonwealth champion, against Liam Cameron. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Sam fights Liam on 13th of October for a middleweight title. Liam's coming down from super middleweight, and Sam's making his first defence. And you know they're both Sheffield lads. It'll be a great fight. It's, you know, tickets are already on sale and they're going quick. Obviously, because it's like a local fight. And it's going to be a good card that Dennis and AJ obviously are putting together. So yeah, it should be a good show. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, who else can we look forward to in the world of boxing that you've got your eye on at the moment?
What did you say? Sorry, again?
Who have you got on your eyes in terms of Britain and the world? Who have you got your eyes on as a fighter at the moment? Josh
Taylor.
Okay.
I've got my eye on Josh Taylor, and the Daniel. I've got my eyes on him obviously because my friend David Allen has sparred. In fact, David Allen came me now. I'm trying to talk to you. He's laughing because Dennis Hobson's dogs had a pee in my house while Dennis is on a cruise, so I always get shit ended stick on him. But no, I'm looking forward to following the and Josh Taylor. I think they're both very exciting.
What about Anthony Yard?
I spoke at length with David about Dubois, and he says everybody in boxing knows that he stood Anthony Joshua, on his head and left him all over the place for EIS. Within a couple of days, he was gone. Frank Warren is a 19-year-old, so he's going to be exciting. He's 19-year-old, so he could have 20 years. 20. He could have a reign that he could end up 70-0, couldn't he? Obviously, he's not going to do, but you know, they're both exciting. And Josh Taylor, I think he's really good. What he did to O'Hara Davies, he just dissected him and sliced and diced him, didn't he?
Okay, let's give you Anthony Yard versus Frank Buglioni.
Anthony Yard, in my opinion, Anthony Yard, I'm not saying he's a chicken, because I rate him very, very highly, as you know, but I think he's been badly advised not to take the Jose Burton fight, because if he beats Jose Burton, he fights Frank Buglioni, doesn't he? If Frank beats Carson Jones, now that's the fighters. I'd like to see them all in like a Super 4, maybe a Super 6 if you throw Jake Ball in and Boatsi, Ethan Cleverley. I'd like to see all them. I think it's very exciting light heavyweight at the moment. I think super middleweight is dying a death.
Right.
If you look at the boxing series, that Super 8 or whatever it's called, that really is a poor compared to the cruiserweights. And we know that, don't we? We're boxing people. Very, very poor. But the light heavyweight division at British and world level, oh, it's blinding, isn't it? It's red hot like the welterweight division's been for years.
Okay. Any other areas of? Have you got any areas of contention or bones of contention at the moment? Because people seem to like your bones of contention.
What do you mean by that?
Areas of discontent or disharmony.
Disharmony in boxing.
Yeah.
I could go on forever, but I don't. You caught me off guard. Actually, I don't really know what I have to. Obviously, I have to ask what I'm allowed to speak about now, because sometimes I just say things and then on a Monday morning we get to work. You know, I get my head bit off. So I've got some things wrote down here. Let me just have a little.
Let me ask you a question. What are your thoughts on this Anthony Joshua versus?
I'm not happy about how the heavyweight division's going at the moment, to be honest. We Anthony Joshua because it's just beat Vladimir Klitschko, right? And have you noticed how we predicted that? Well, I predicted, I think you can back me up, that he wouldn't. Vladimir wasn't going to fight in Vegas. There's no way on this earth Eddie Hearn is going to let that stuff up go. So they've ended up that fight's ended up dead in water, mainly over finance. I don't think Vladimir's just retired. I think he wanted it in Vegas. They couldn't deliver it. Stalled and stalled. Left in UK. Who wants to see that fight? Bulef. He's just been 12 rounds with Kevin Johnson. Nobody wants to see that. We all want to see Joshua against Louis Ortiz, who was Vladimir Klitschko's mandatory when Vladimir was world champion. So why is Ortiz getting his chance?
It still baffles me as to why Ortiz came to the UK, fought Dave Allen, and then fought Malik Scott. I don't understand it. This is a guy who was potentially the best heavyweight in the world. Why was he doing that?
I don't know. Do you want me to ring you on normal line? Or is it on WhatsApp?
It's perfect. This is a perfect line at the moment.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah.
Let me just plug me in charge. You know, I need to make computer, so I got to. I can't understand. I see where you're coming from, but Louis Ortiz, right, is 27-0, 23 by KO. He's just turned 30. He might even be above his peak. He's a southpaw. He's very quick. He don't waste his punches. And if you speak to Dave Allen, who's done 520 rounds Joshua, he's never been dropped. I know he's had his nose broke 5 times, but he's never been dropped against Joshua. He's been in with Ortiz. He's been in with Tyson Fury, and believe me, he says Ortiz beats Joshua all day.
I think
beats him all day and all night.
From what I've understood, Ortiz is 40, closer to probably 44. That's what I've understood. Don't know how true that is.
What?
Joshua's over 40. Ortiz is over 40 already.
Oh well, if he's over 40, then they're probably going to wait till he's about 50 then. But it don't matter what he is. He's been 2 years ago, right? He was Vladimir Klitschko's mandatory 2 years ago, and Vladimir decided to go to the WBO mandatory and fight Tyson, remember? So Ortiz has been dicked around. I don't like to swear, I don't swear nowadays. It's been a resolution. Late years. Ortiz has been messed around left, right, and centre by promoters, bad management. Call it what you want. Maybe being too good for good. He's just not getting his dues. He's not beat a world champion yet. He's not even beat a former world champion. But he's beat everybody who's put him. But he's been at #1 now for 2 years with WBA. And once he's #1 with IBF or #2 and WBC as well, he moves around the divisions. He's always been in the top 3 or 4. He's not getting a chance. Vladimir wouldn't give him it. We know Tyson got his belt took off him. He couldn't get on with him. Joshua's just doing everything he can not to fight him. Now when he says he wants Joshua to fight people who we know, we don't know who Pulev is, but we know who Luis Ortiz is, don't we? Because he's fought twice on Sky as a matchroom fighter. He's already fought David Allen. So he'd be a great of Joshua. Dillian White's fought Dave Allen and they're picking him up for the April fight. I mean, if he beats Chisora, they put Chisora fight on as chief support with Pulev Joshua, and yet they're not going to give Luis Ortiz a chance. It's Dewey Ingram.
Not particularly.
He's just been 12 rounds with Kevin Kingpin Johnson. Oh, Chubby Checker. Chubby Johnson. Come on. Pulev. I don't want to see him. He went life and death with Tony Thompson, didn't he? Oh my, it's a terrible matchup. He had a good minute against Vladimir 3 years ago. 3 years ago. He's pushing 37-year-old. It's a joke, mate. If Anthony Joshua fights Pulev, his best way and 41-year-old Vladimir, who were 18 months out of action and coming off a bad loss. I just can't believe what we're seeing. That Pulev in November, and then it's going to be April. Who then? Dillian White or Chisora. Then it's going to be November 15 before we can possibly see Wilder or Ortiz then. It's wrong what's going on. He's being protected. The cotton wall after that fight against Vladimir because he's hiding glass. His feet are injured because he's walking like he's got concrete blocks on his feet. I can't believe what we're seeing. It's just another angle for Eddie to milk the cow's udder.
So what happens next then? What do you think will happen next in terms of the heavyweight division at the lower weight division? I mean, like in the lower category in terms of yeah.
Well, I'd like to see Stavern get his shot. I mean, I think he deserves a chance against Wilder. I mean, he's been sacked mandatory for God knows how long. What is with fighters, right? A lot of people say it's not the fighters, it's the people around them. But listen, in my opinion, if a fighter puts his foot and says, look, I want the fight, he gets the fight. Now, Canelo and Golovkin, Canelo didn't want the fight for ages. Because we all know, as soon as he saw a chink in Golovkin against that Jacobs, Canelo wanted the fight. As soon as he said he wanted it, he got it. Same with Joshua. Joshua says to Eddie Hearn, Eddie, I want Ortiz, make it happen. If I have to drop the Pulev belt, the IBF, I'll drop it. What belt it is? He's going to fight Pulev and then he's going to drop the WBA. So why don't he fight Ortiz and drop the IBF now? We don't want to see Pulev against Joshua. Pulev's been knocked out by Vladimir and Vladimir's been knocked out by Joshua. We want to see Joshua against Ortiz, two undefeated guys like Fury against Parker, two undefeated guys. That's what I want to see. As a boxing person, someone who works in boxing and a boxing fan, I'm an hardcore fan as well. I want to see undefeated heavyweights in 50-50 fights. I don't want to see Joshua against Pulev because that's like Joshua against Eric Molina. It'll be a 3 or 4 round. Job gone. That'll be it. And Eddie Hearn will be praying that Dillian White and Chisora save his neck again. And all the rest of them match and fight on. What's going to happen? It's a carbon copy and he's going to get away with it again. This time last year, he were getting ready for Molina Now he's getting ready for a pool F. It's the same scenario, same script, wrote by Eduardo Hearn and his old man, aka Drunken Bazza.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds interesting. What's going to happen with the career of Dave Allen, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, he looks like he's got the Lenro. Well, apparently, from what he was telling me, it looks like he's got that fight for rematch. But I don't think anything's set in stone. I don't know what's going to happen to him. I don't want him to be a gatekeeper, but David Allen, when did he fight Ortiz? Were he 9-1-1 when he fought him?
Yeah.
He shouldn't have been in there with Luis Ortiz. David Allen, a young kid. Come on. Have been in with Ortiz. It's when David Allen fought. Here we are. Luis Ortiz was 26-0 when he fought David Allen. Since then, he's not had a fight. Hang on, he's had one fight then.
Tom Little. Not Tom Little. Tom Dallas.
No, that was his last fight. Luis
Tom
Ortiz
Dallas.
hasn't fought since.
Yeah.
December. Now, David Allen fought him at 9-1-1. That's it. He's 27-0. 27-0, 23. He's box spec number 5. Joshua's number 1. But yeah, he's got a better record. Well, I don't know, because he's got the Vladimir one on it. Who's he beaten now? Let's have a look at Luis Ortiz has beaten.
I've said it, and nobody wants.
He's knocked out Brian Jennings. He's knocked out. He's beat Malik Scott. He's beat Dave Allen.
He hasn't fought a puncher.
Latif KO'd.
Yeah, but he's fought no puncher. He's never fought a puncher. I've said it before and I'll say it again. He's never fought a puncher.
He's not fought a puncher,
Ortiz. Look at.
Well, he's not fought a puncher. He's fought Brian Jennings. He can punch. Thompson can punch.
Jennings ain't a puncher, and Thompson ain't no puncher. He's not a puncher.
Latif KO'd is 70% KO rate.
He was a cruiserweight, like a light heavy or cruiserweight, wasn't it?
21 it is. 16 KO.
Yeah, he was a cruiserweight. He's not a bona fide heavyweight. Brian Jennings is not.
You mean he's not a killer?
No, Coyote wasn't a heavyweight.
Maybe Luis Ortiz. That fought a puncher. Have you ever thought that Luis Ortiz has got an 80% KO ratio? He's a puncher himself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Have you ever thought that these Vladimir Klitschko was supposed to be a killer in Division 1 a couple of years before he fought Tyson Fury? Now, when Luis Ortiz with Tyson Vladimir Klitschko's mandatory, how come Vladimir never took it? He went down. He tried everything to avoid that, didn't he?
He did.
He jumped from WBA to Tyson to IBF, and then he swapped over to WBO. He did everything that he could to avoid him. I mean, cool. Right? He fought Vladimir Klitschko when Luis Ortiz should have fought him. Now, he was the IBF mandatory, and then he came back for his WBA mandatory, which was Brian Jennings. He'd already got fight lined up, Ortiz, because at the end of the day he's got to eat. So then they said, right, you've got to fight Ortiz. So then he swapped over to his WBO mandatory, Tyson Fury. So Vladimir clicked and changed and did best he could to avoid certain people. I mean, he kept David, didn't he? And the main guys that Vladimir fought were small guys like Eddie Chambers, Samuel Peter, David A, John Mormon. These are all guys that 6'3", aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
They're not big guys like Tyson Fury. He got in there with Tyson Fury and he got schooled, didn't he? Tyson 24. No,
but he did not Marisvac.
Joshua, the puncher, but
Marisvac.
for the taking.
What about Marisvac? What about Marisvac. He fought Marisvac, didn't he?
Marisvac, yeah, he's not 6'6" guy, though, isn't he?
He's taller.
He's about 6'7", isn't he?
Yeah. So he's a tall
Yeah,
guy.
Marisvac, he was a big guy, but he's not a puncher. He's only 49% KO ratio. So he was easy for Vladimir. Before he fought Vladimir, Marisvac, he fought a guy called Ty Field. And before Ty Field, he fought Jason Gavin. So he's got Jason Gavin, Ty Fields, and then he's fought Vladimir. That's not preparation like Vladimir. Vladimir was 58-3 when he fought Marisvac. I mean, a lot of opponents that Vladimir had, they were all selected, handpicked selected. Vladimir's gloves, Vladimir's ring, you're taking $300,000, that's your lot. Take it all it's Vladimir's way or the highway.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Why is it that good competitive fights are not bringing in like big gates, yet crap fights seem to bring in good gates? Here's an example. You've got Hughie Fury and Joseph Parker. That's a good fight. Two unbeaten fighters, two young guys. No. What?
I don't know, mate. You've got what's Parker 23 now?
There you go.
Hughie's had fought Rudenko, he's fought Fred Cassie, Parker's fought Andy Ruiz and Takam. So they've both got two top 10 guys. So you could say they both deserve to be fighting for the belt. But Parker's really only got the belt because Tyson was straight. Because if they take the belt away, we'd be saying this is like a good contender fight, you know, a bit better than a good trade fight. It's a good contender fight, you know.
But okay.
No, I don't. That's just how it goes, isn't it? Boxing's not a government sport, isn't it?
Crawford.
It's run by people with money, wealthy people. Promoters that run boxing, don't they? We all know that, don't we?
The fight versus Crawford has got less publicity. The fight tonight has got less publicity than Gennady Golovkin and Triple G. And how can that be? Canelo isn't undisputed or any close to being undisputed. Gennady Golovkin's in his first real major fight with a guy who could kick his ass. That even match up to Crawford versus Indongo?
I don't know. Crawford Indongo on paper is a better fight.
Of course it is.
Triple G, because Canelo's been beat. I know he's beat a few world champions, but he's been beat. Canelo. He took to score. But Triple G, in my opinion, he got beat by Danny Jacobs. I don't know what you thought about that fight.
That was a close fight. Very close.
As like a Hagler Hearns, hasn't it? Or a Hagler against Carlos Monzon if they would have fought on the Jake LaMotta ring. And see all these odds that they're putting together. It's got a lot of hype behind it. And I suppose it is a good fight, really, in that, but basically it's two guys to really beat, haven't they? They're not. I think Canelo's peak is now, and I think Triple G's at the top of the.
So do I.
Otherwise, Canelo won't be anywhere near him, would he?
No. Here's another thing. Somebody just mentioned here that Tyson Fury is going to be considered the modern. What do you think? Just came up here.
You could say that, and Tyson Fury is a pal of mine, and I hate to say that, but again, he could be a one-hit wonder, and all them skills he's got. I'd hate him to go down as that, but Buster Douglas quite a few times. Tyson Fury has not been beat, so you could say he's a bit better than the modern day, but Muslims could. He was really Mike Tyson on the slide, wasn't he? When he fought.
It's interesting.
He'd already got rid of Kevin Rooney. He'd been rid of Aaron Snowell and Mark Whelan, and then for a couple of fights, and then Jay Bryson. In my opinion, he was already on his way down. But yeah, you could say that, but I think Tyson Fury is a bit better than
Douglas.
Buster Douglas.
I was going to.
He's a lot better than Buster Douglas.
I was going to say.
You know, it's one of those. I feel sorry for Tyson in a way, like, but it goes in it. But Buster Douglas, he ended up with a career record of 38-6-1, and had been beaten 6 times and had a draw. Tyson Fury, he's 54%. Tyson's is a lot better. You know, his KO ratio is about 75%, I think. And plus, he said in money, Tyson Fury never been beat. So I don't know.
Looking back.
We'll see. I hope he comes back. I do hope he comes back, but there's part of me that says that he won't come back, and I think it's a shame if he doesn't come back, because, well, you know, it's like a lottery ticket and did cash out. You think?
Well, I predicted, if I go back and look at my blog reports, I predicted that Fury would retire young in his career. That's what I put, and I put that just after the second fight, that second fight with Hay, or not the second fight, well, the second time they rescheduled the fight. I said at that point, I predicted Tyson would retire early and young, and well, look what's happened now. So.
Well, I mean, I hope Tyson comes back. He's undisputed English, Irish, Commonwealth, British, European, and he's got all world title belts at ring belt and ring fire. The only belt he can get with WBC, and that's only because they don't really like that belt to be tied to all the other ones. You know, he's done everything, and he's won everything. There's nothing for him to do. You know, he's going to get bowed out 25-0, undefeated. I know he really beat a couple of world champions in Vladimir and Steve Cunningham, but you can only beat what's in front of you, can't you, really?
Of course.
I mean, Rocky Martin beat that many world champions today.
Yeah.
You know, he retired injured, otherwise he retired with some defeats, but he retired, he got injured before, you know, otherwise he wouldn't have got out of the game, would it?
No, absolutely not.
I don't know. I hope Tyson works things out. I hope he knocks 6 or 7 stone off and gets a good gets right. But as long as he's happy, he might be happy now. He might be happy out of boxing.
Yep.
If he's happy out of boxing, that's good, isn't it? He's a achiever. And that's good, I think. I think it is.
There'll be promoters that'll be happy that Tyson for sure.
Oh, you would want it to come back, wouldn't you? If you're a Tyson Fury.
Only.
Sublime skills, aren't they?
Only if his head's got to be right. I don't want to see Tyson back in a ring with his head not right and not in shape.
You wouldn't want him to come back in, would you? And just take, you know, 4 or 5 million.
No.
And just not be in the same Tyson.
No.
Back in.
No, I don't want to. But I was the first guy that I said Tyson should have given up those belts. I did say it. People laughed at me. And look now. I said he should have given up the belts, and look what's happened now. He ends up giving up all the belts and keeps the one belt. So
yeah. It's not good, is it?
It's not good. Let's hope that Huey can do the business.
Hey?
Let's hope Huey can do the business.
All the greats, you know, all the great heavyweight guys. You look on BoxRec, you know, the top 20 on BoxRec.
Yeah.
The top 20 hasn't got one sample. Is that crazy? All-time greats. Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, Sam Langford, Larry Wheels, Vladimir Klitschko, Jack Johnson, Ezzard Charles, Floyd Patterson, Larry Owens, Gene Sully, Lennox Lewis, Max Smiley, Mike Tyson, Rocky Marciano, James J. Jeffries, Sam McVeer, Peter McHay, Mick Jack Sharkey. on boxing, all orthodox. And then you've got the next top 20, all orthodox, from Jimmy Vivens, Joe, Tommy Burns, David Hayden on 34, all the way through. And let's see where we've got a southpaw.
Michael Moorer.
Oh, Chris Burns, ranked 45.
You got Michael Moorer as well. Beat Holyfield.
Michael Moorer, he's not on this list here. It might be fun. He got knocked out, wasn't he, by Big George, didn't he, Michael Moorer?
Quite a lot of people have got knocked out by Big George though, so that's no shame in that.
Yeah, there's no shame in getting knocked out by Big George. Just about everybody has, hasn't there? Michael Moorer, third best southpaw of all time on BoxRec. Michael Moorer, number 3. Number 1, Chris Bird. I didn't know Chris Bird was a southpaw. Well, I do now, see, I remember now, but Chris Bird, number 1. And then you've got, let's have a look here, Jack Bodell. Remember him, Jack Bodell?
Yeah.
Didn't he fight Henry Cooper?
They are. That's
Before
a lot.
Joe Buckner. Yeah, he fought Henry Cooper. He lost against Henry Cooper. He fought Brian London, remember him?
Of course I know Brian London when he fought Muhammad Ali.
He fought Henry Cooper twice. Lost against him twice. Old Henry Cooper well stashed.
Probably.
There's some right defences. Bless him. But yeah, so sorts his head out and comes back and reclaims the throne. But boxing's moved on in the last 2 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has a lot. Here by the name of Copendo9 says, why should we hope Huey can do the business?
Why should we hope what?
Huey Fury can business.
Why should we hope Huey? Well, for starters, Huey Fury, we should hope he does the business because Huey's a good guy in boxing. He don't go around shooting his mouth off. He's worked hard. His father trains him, and I like father-son teams because it's more emotions involved. But Huey is a good guy. He's a good fighter. He's also a world amateur champion, isn't he? People are forgetting that. He's got a good pedigree. And also, we should be cheering him on because he's British, isn't he? He's a Lancashire lad. And he's fighting for the world heavyweight title. He's getting a version, if he wins, of the greatest title in the world. People need to remember it. We're talking about heavyweight title when Frank Bruno fought for it, the country stood still. He fought for a piece of the title of the 4 belts. Huey's fighting for 8 of the world title. Let's get behind this kid. Let's hope that he can do the business.
I've got a guy here by the name of
I think he will.
The guy boxing from 1337 says no one really knows how good Huey is. It's all hearsay, and he's very inactive.
Who's inactive? Huey.
Yes.
Huey's inactive, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's not a lot. It's not no telling me why he's been active. It's obviously things behind the scenes that I don't know about, what's going on, or I don't want to comment about. But all we can say is that Huey's, he's waiting his chance out. He's 20 and 0. He's got 2 good wins in there, 2 top 10 guys. I mean, he beat Rudenko when he was 19, right? Everybody said that Rudenko had beat him, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. I've got to stop you there. I've got somebody here by the name of and if I say your name wrong, I apologize. Ayo Abwati. And he says, Abasi says, AJ doesn't shoot his mouth off and he's got Olympic and world champion medals. Saying the Furies are liars and deserve nothing from the fans. What are your thoughts to that?
He says what?
He says that AJ doesn't shoot his mouth off and he's got Olympic and world champion medals.
Right, first things first, right? AJ doesn't shoot his mouth off. You know AJ, right? I don't know AJ. I only know of him. Well, let's just break that down, shall we? Right? He got an Olympic gold medal, right? He 4 times in the Olympics, right? He lost the first one. Everybody in boxing knows he lost the first one. So he shouldn't have been in the other 3. But let's look at all the four of them. He only beat the Chinese guy and he was useless, right? So he had a gift in the Olympics, right? He's got a world, he's got a silver medal, but he got beaten by Camarelli, didn't he, in the final, in Baku, all right?
Okay.
Yeah. So Camarelli beat him for me in final. The score on countback was 18-18. So how they get to AJ, I don't know, but yeah, he's got a gold medal. Good luck to him. But he's a paper champion, right? He didn't win the IBF title off Tyson Fury because Charlie Martin was a paper champ, and Vladimir fought them other belts, took off Tyson. So all them belts he's got, the Tyson Fury's belts. He's a paper champ, in my opinion. His best win is a guy 14-year-old, 18 months on the settee, coming off a good hiding from Tyson. Don't forget, Vladimir fought in England. Now, in my opinion, Vladimir could have took him out. It was a life and death fight. Joshua's feet looked like they were in. It looked like he had concrete blocks on his feet. He reminded me of somebody that had been kidnapped by gangsters and thrown in the M25 motorway, and he'd escaped, and he had concrete stuck to his feet, and he was trying to run. That's what it reminded me of, a cartoon character. But Vladimir didn't take him out, did he, when he had the chance? He played it safe, he went into safety mode, and he paid the penalty, so full credit to Joshua, but more question marks against him than answers. If there wasn't, why is he fighting Pulev next? Pulev has been knocked out 3 years ago. Since then, what has he done? He's fought Tony Thompson, and he's just beat a retired Kevin Johnson over 12 round feast. And yet he's saying he's going to fight Pulev, and then if he has to give up the WBA belt, he's going to give that belt up. Ortiz were mandatory for Vladimir. Why don't you just fight Ortiz, and then we can have a 19-0 Joshua against a 27-0 Ortiz? A very rare occurrence. 2 heavyweights fighting for a belt, and they're both undefeated. Why don't we have that?
Hold on.
Instead of Pulev, who really is a carbon copy of Eric Molina. What are they going to do with that fight? They're going to put Eric Molina, Pulev against Joshua, and they're going to have Dillian White against Chisora 2 on as chief support. Everybody in boxing knows that's what's going to happen. And Eddie Hearn's going to see a couple round blowout at Pulev, and he's going to hope that Dillian White and Chisora save his neck. So that's my opinion on Joshua. He is not the real deal. The question marks are still out there. He's probably one at best at bunch at the moment. It's important. People can't tell me that this is a great heavyweight era. It's one of the best eras ever, in my opinion.
Okay. People are asking who you are. Russell, very quickly let people know who you are.
Yeah, just tell them it's Big Vern 46. Big Vern, at Big Vern 46, that's me.
Yeah, that Big Vern 46, that's him on Twitter. AO continues and says, Huey is also a paper champ then. It's funny how people put AJ down and big up the Furies who lie about bans and fights.
No, nobody's putting AJ down. We're not. AJ is not the second coming of Christ. He's not better than sliced bread. He's got a win in a life and death situation against a 41-year-old guy who, let's have it right, sat on 18 months. Now, it was life and death. The guy's 40-odd year old. Life and death. Let's put things into perspective. People are getting carried away and losing their mind.
I think we'll end on this now. And Khan, don't you think the guy should just retire now?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think he should retire. I think he's being badly advised by whoever's around him, and that's not a dig at anybody in particular, because I obviously know I see Fally, who who's been with him, but I don't think it's Hassie's fault. I think it's other people in his ear, and I think he should just give it up because he's 6 months out of ring, and then what was it, a year out of ring before that? Amir Khan last won a world title fight over 6 years ago against Seb Judah, who was an old man, in July 2011. That's the last time Amir Khan won a world title fight. Now, he's 6 year, 1 month in wilderness, and he's gone to Virgil Hunter, he's gone backwards. He goes to Virgil Hunter, has gone backwards. What has Virgil Hunter ever done with any fighter except Andre Ward?
Virgil Hunter, no disrespect, Virgil Hunter is a crash. He's a crash for damaged fighters. That's what he is. He's a crash for damaged fighters.
Yeah. It's like a retirement winning for guys who go to Virgil Hunter looking for something that's not there.
Okay.
When guys get to that stage of the career, they want to change. They should go to Freddie Roach. When you want to change, you need to start knocking guys out. Go back. The last thing you lose as a boxer is your power.
Okay.
So when you get to like 31, 32 and you've had a few losses,
Okay.
with a Freddie Roach, it'll show you how to get release that power.
Right.
Don't with a Virgil Hunter, all of a sudden deciding to want to be technical.
Russell.
Be a safety fight. Not everybody can fight like that.
Russell. I will take you on. I'll take you on.
That's my opinion.
I'll take you on your opinion with Freddie Roach. I bet any money that Freddie Roach should be the reason why Scott Quinn gets knocked out. Wait and see. Freddie Roach gets all his fighters knocked out because he can't teach defense.
Yeah,
all his fighters get knocked out.
Scott Quinn has got a good chin, though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think it'd be hard for him to get knocked out.
He'll need it. If any trainer is going to get you knocked out, it's get you knocked out.
Yeah, well.
We look at all the guys he's had.
I'm not saying he's best trainer. I mean, the fighter makes the trainer. I mean, come on, Ward could have gone with Joe Gallagher and made him look good, couldn't he? Our friend Joe Gallagher.
Oh dear. Oh dear. The logic. People want to know the logic. If Hughie Fury beats if Hughie Fury beats Joseph Parker, does that mean then that Hughie Fury also is a paper champion because Tyson Fury had a belt as well? With that logic.
Yeah, you could say that, couldn't you? Yeah. If he beats Parker, you could say that Hughie's a paper champion as well because he hasn't beat the guy who had the belt, which is Tyson, but he'll never fight Tyson, will he? So you could always put a question mark against that one. We couldn't call Italy or Vladimir a paper champ because they were never going to fight each other, were they, really?
No.
So, yeah, you could say that. Yeah, you could say that. Hypocrite if I said you can't say that, but yeah, you can say that, yeah. But take the belt away off Parker and put Hughie against Parker and no belt. Hughie's a hot favourite in my opinion because it's in England, but because the guy's coming over here with the belt, he's got a bit of kudos, hasn't he? Everybody's falling for him, but I'm not because I've seen Hughie close up. And I'm hearing things that are happening in Hughie's training camp, and I mean that he's in his runs, and since the times he's hitting are not just short of Olympic times. We want hitting them times when he were ill because he had a blood disorder, didn't he? So we're going to see a different Hughie Fury. I'm not.
No.
I'm a straight shooter in boxing. I tell it as I see it. Hughie does have flaws, in my opinion, but not many. He does everything good. He's a bit like Billy Joe Saunders. He's not a 10 out of 10 in everything, but he's a good 8 out of everything. Whereas some guys, you'll get James Toney, defence is a 10, innit? He's got that shoulder roll. He don't get clipped. But fitness is a 0, innit? James Toney and swap them both to have 2 8s, wouldn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a different guy when he was on fitness, dedication.
I was going to say something. Copend09 continues and says, this guy has been infected by Hughie spots. So he thinks He thinks that you're a Huey Fury fan.
Am I a Huey Fury fan?
Yeah.
What did you say, Ingrid?
Are you a Huey Fury fan?
Can't hear you, mate. Sorry.
Said, are you a Huey Fury fan?
Oh, what about Huey Fury's fan? I don't know. I don't think he is banned, is he?
No, he said people are asking if you're a Huey Fury fan.
Am I a Huey Fury fan? I'm a boxing fan. But yeah, I'm a Huey Fury fan as well. I'm also a Joshua fan. I'm a boxing fan in general. I like to see good fights. You've got Huey, 20 and up, 23 and now. Huey's 22-year-old, 23. The other guy's 25. You don't get much better than that, does it, for a boxing fan?
No, absolutely. I'm going to close on this now. AO says Parker isn't as easy as everyone makes out. Huey can't punch and has been in Chinsu.
I'm not sure if Parker will get chin. I'm going to go for a Huey. That's a safe bet of bookies for me. I'll probably have £100 on Huey to win on points. I think that's a good. I'll be ringside on the night with maybe a couple of people that I'm going to fight with. Probably Dennis and Asif and a few people, but I'm going to be looking at Huey winning on points, and if he don't win, I'll be devastated. But may the best man win. But Huey a favourite in my eyes. He's obviously aren't they?
People are saying that you're a bit biased, and they think that you think Huey would probably beat AJ as well.
What? I'm going to say that again.
People are saying they think you're a bit biased, and they think that you would think that Huey would beat AJ as well.
Do I think Huey would beat AJ? And you know what? If Huey beats Parker, I'd put him against AJ if he beats Parker, because I think a win over Parker is as good a win over an old man Vladimir. That's what I'm going to say on that matter.
Okay.
I rate Parker, and obviously I did rate Vladimir.
And you've given your opinion on Canelo versus Gennady Golovkin already, don't you?
Yeah.
Russell, thank you so much for talking to BWTM Sports. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Ingram. You take care, and all the best to you and your family. And thanks to the fans for listening, and all the best.
Thank you, champ. So there you have it. We've had Carson Jones, we've had Russell Hartley, so we've had somebody from America and somebody from the UK. Unfortunately, I'm trying to get Mr. Stavern, but he's in a meeting at the moment, so we're going to see what happens. Maybe in the early hours of this morning, very early hours of this morning, I may have an announcement to make, but that's it for now. I think we'll get Crawford versus Indongo. I think, how can you be so biased? It defies logic, says You guys are funny, but do you remember the Pacquiao days? Okay, and you've got the Golovkin days. Well, they're still here. You can be very biased. It's very simple. Trust me, he's gone a step. So we'll see. He's put a lot of training in, so it'll be interesting to see if he does step aside. But anyway, enough from me. I don't think you want to hear me talk anymore. But let's look for a fight between Terence Crawford and Julius Indongo. I think it's going to be a great fight. Personal opinions. I was always told in boxing there's no reason whatsoever, if you're tall and got long arms, there's no reason the shorter, smaller guy should be getting on the inside. That being said, Crawford is an exceptional fighter, and my observation of Indongo when he fought Burns, he fought a shot Ricky Burns, and he seemed pretty one-paced. And the one thing I was thinking through that whole fight, Indongo was doing was that, hold on, you're not getting hit by a puncher here, because Burns isn't a puncher. And I thought to myself, well, hold on. Crawford hits him, what happens then? So we really don't know how Indongo's going to respond to, I believe Dillian won 2 rounds, and he dropped the guy several times as well. So well done to Dillian White. Indongo can punch. There's no doubt he can punch. I think the fight against, the Russia where he knocked him out in a round, it was something. And he had enough power to hurt Ricky Burns. But Terence Crawford's a different matter altogether. See, Crawford's chin is still a question mark for me. I've always said it. Since the Gamboa fight, where he got buzzed by Gamboa, I was concerned about his chin. I'm even more concerned about Crawford's chin because of what Mayweather once said. When he talked about, and he says, be careful because Pacquiao can punch. So I don't know what Crawford's chin is like. I think, for me, punch resistance in this fight wins this fight, because I think it's going to come down to punch resistance. Because to be undisputed champion, I really do think punch resistance is going to be key in this fight. Because if Crawford can't get in and he's got a suspect chin and he can't get on the inside, and Ndongo's can punch hard enough to hurt Crawford, it stops Crawford rushing in. And of course, if Ndongo's kind of questionable about his punch resistance is questionable, then that's going to offset a lot of what Indongo would do, him coming forward and do what he does. So that's something. I think it's been interesting fight tonight. Ingram, if you want mad views, do a live commentary for Mayweather McGregor. I will be doing live commentary for Mayweather McGregor. I was considering tonight doing a commentary for Indongo Crawford, but I'm not sure. I think I don't know if I'm going to do a commentary for the fight tonight. I don't know for tonight's fight. It's such a great fight for the undisputed title. I just want to sit back and watch the fight and not being carried like a complete crazy man. Are better when you can see it as well. Yeah, that's true. But I've got too many people, too many backstabbers here. I'm sure if I did the video, and I remember the last time somebody said put up a Klitschko video. I think I put up Klitschko versus Pulev, and I got a copyright done. I think my channel was down for about 4 months. So ever since that happened, I won't be doing that ever again. So that's why I don't do the live videos and commentary, because there's always somebody does it. Skype got frustrated. I'd rather jam a pencil in my ear than listen to Mr. 1010. If you're going to watch it tonight, watch it. Try and get a stream or watch it via HBO or Showtime, whichever it is. Get American streams, so you don't have to listen to Frost. Oh, right hand! A mouth-watering contest tonight between Crawford and Indongo. Is it going to be the taller man Indongo who dominated our Ricky Burns, or is it going to be shorter Crawford who also dominated our Ricky Burns? We never know what's going to happen in this mouth-watering bout tonight between Indongo and Crawford. Whatever. We'll be watching the fight. You'll be watching the fight live on Sky with Adam Smith. Don't worry, it's going to be mad. And I can guarantee you there'll be no bias talk from Sky Sports ever. All right, Adam. And on that note, I will be out of here. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed the interview with Carson Jones, with upcoming fight with Margarito. I hope you're able to listen to that, and I hope you enjoyed the interview with our friend Russell Hartley. And soon, I should be back again soon as well. I'll probably for tonight watch this fight and enjoy watching an undisputed fight. And then next week, commentary for McGregor versus Mayweather. I'm looking forward to it. Right, that's me. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave the comments, and please, 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 wherever you are in the world, share the video, share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it across your social media. We need more subscribers, man. We don't know what's going on. So like all our fibers seem to be drying up now. But I'm out. Next time you'll see my face again, probably Ingram Stamer, man. I can't stay. We've got the Indongo fight coming in, and the other fights before that. I was also going to say to you guys, please continue to support the channel. We appreciate it. Yeah, you keep saying it's a good chat. I think you do it on purpose. But please appreciate it. Can't share that false interview. You should, just for the reason, share the interview. And, you know, listen, Russell, you'd be surprised. He does know stuff. He's put a few bets down. He wins quite a bit of a few bets. So Russell knows his stuff, mostly. He knows his stuff. I'm not going to say Russell is got everything correct, but he's got a lot of stuff correct. So he's a good man to listen to. Stay or else. Oh, what do you want me to stay for? What am I going to do? What are we going to talk about if I stay? What are we going to talk about? I ain't got nothing more to talk about, have I? Okay, if I'm going to talk here, I won't stay here for another half an hour. Then you're going to ask the questions and I'll answer the questions because I'm not doing all talking. So you got to come up with some questions. You come up with the questions, I'll say. Thank you very much, Sniper. I appreciate you. If you've got any questions, then fire out your questions and I'll answer them. But so what's the point of me waffling on if I've got nothing else to say apart from get on to our gaming channel. Please support our gaming channel as well, BWTM Gaming, and support our news channel as well. It's all in the description box, so check them out. Check those channels out. So who do you feel AJ fights next, Pulev? It's another money fight, isn't it? Who's been the fighter of the year for you so far? Fighter of the year so far. Andre Ward. Andre Ward. Andre Ward. Prediction: Wilder Ortiz. That fight won't happen, I don't think. I can't see Wilder fighting Ortiz. Honestly, I can't see it happen. But if it did happen, I would actually lean in favor of Wilder. My wife finds you hilarious. I'd be concerned why your wife finds me hilarious. What are your thoughts on the mouth-watering Ponce Adam Smith? A bit concerned that Adam Smith likes to be live in camera. He said to me, "We'll never be biased to Sky." But ever since he made the statement, Sky's become more and more biased. So I'm a bit concerned about that. But there you go. List your top pound for pound, starting with 10 to 1, and reasons for each person. Down all day, all night. My pound for pound number 1 is going to be Sugar Ray Robinson. So pound for pound number one. The thing about Sugar Ray Robinson is the fight I would love to have seen is Sugar Ray Robinson versus Floyd Patterson. Could Sugar Ray Robinson have beaten Floyd Patterson? That would have been a great fight. We never got to see it. I think he moved to light heavyweight, and then the sun, and he got dehydrated and all the rest of it, which was a shame. Predictions: AJ versus Ortiz. I really don't know, because I don't know what Ortiz does against a guy who's big, strong, or go forward him. I don't know. I don't know. So number 1 for me is Sugar Ray Robinson. After that, well, it could be anyone in your top 10 pound for pound active fighters. Top 10. Oh, number 1 is Andre Ward, without a shadow of doubt. Why is Andre Ward because of what he did at the super middleweight division, cleaned out the super middleweight division. Then he came in and fought a light heavy, went and fought Sullivan Barrera, was a killer. He beat Sullivan Barrera, and then he goes on and beats Kovalev twice. For you to go in there and do expected, he beats Kovalev twice. People said he didn't beat Kovalev the first fight, but he stopped Kovalev in the second fight, which I could see happening. Andre Ward's my pound for pound number one guy. So, did you hear Bernard Valentino's interview with Peter Fury? No, I didn't hear it, but I do know that I think it's British boxers have been over to see Peter Fury. What do you think of all this talk about MMA boxers talking Bellew versus Bisping now? Is this a new thing? Well, there's a difference between Conor McGregor and Mayweather. Both guys are at the top of their game. I'm not sure if is Bisping at the top of his game and is Tony Bellew at the top of his game. Well, he's certainly not. He's definitely the top heavyweight in the world. So I don't know. I'm not so sure. Do you agree with Floyd's critics that he's carefully selected opponents and didn't take much risk in the last 10 years? Listen, if Floyd Mayweather fought King Kong, Godzilla, and the Mummy, they would have said, well, they were all prehistoric or they're fictional characters. Listen, I don't think there's one fighter in history that hasn't been criticized. Muhammad Ali, the greatest, people say we never threw a body shot. Okay, so you know, people say, well, Muhammad Ali got, but he was the greatest. He got beat by 8-fight novice. Okay, you know, you pick any fighter and people pick holes in them. So when people say things about Floyd, picking holes, and whoever they say, and when they criticize Floyd, it's like, okay, who's your fighter? What's your fighter achieved? What's your fighter done? So then you find out you can pick holes at that fighter. So it's a bit hole. You just have to block a lot of it out. What do I think of Bellew versus Bisping? Waste of time. What are the other 9 fighters? Ward, then who? I'd have to rethink about it. But Lomachenko would not be in my top 10 pound for pound, and Golovkin would not be in my top 10 pound for pound. Reasons being, one, Golovkin has made defense of his title, but as for to me, his first major fight of a guy who could definitely kick his ass is Canelo at 35 years old. That's not, for me, sorry. You have to put Pacquiao there as a pound for pound fighter, I think, even though he's on the slide and time, but Pacquiao would be up there. Moved up in several weight divisions and done the business. Lomachenko's not in there because he's fought for 2 WBO world titles, but I'm sorry, I don't know. Breaking news: Dillian White has offered Dan Rafael straightener in the car park for talking rubbish. Rafael, talking rubbish. Thoughts on the latest All Access episode 4? Haven't seen it yet, but I will watch it. Love to see someone punch on Rafael. It's coming. What chance you give White in an AJ rematch, and why? Well, I told everyone in the first fight. Go back and watch my videos. I said White is not ready for AJ. He's injured. He's going into the fight injured, and he's not in the best condition. I said it. It happened. Dillian White would be a much better fight this time round than he was last time round. If he catches and shoots the same way, and if AJ is vulnerable to left hook, which he still looks vulnerable to left hook, then I think White stands a chance because he'll take it. Would he have his keyboard with him? If McGregor sparks Mayweather, is it by far the greatest achievement in boxing ever? No. Well, no. Well, no. Mayweather's 40 years old now. It's not Mayweather who's 30 years old. So I think timing is everything. I think McGregor's hoping that Mayweather at 40 won't be able to do what he did at 30, which is fine. But I just want to know how McGregor's going to, and this is the question that a lot of people are not answering. Everyone's talking about McGregor and his left hand, but they're not talking about Floyd's left hand and his right hand, his check left hook and his straight right hand, and In fact, McGregor, through all of his career, blocks punches with his face. McGregor has got no defense. And you're going to fight Floyd, and he's got the business. And he's got a check left hook. And you can see, McGregor talks about him setting traps, where he sets traps as a MMA artist. Floyd sets traps as a boxing, and it'll be very interesting to see Floyd walking McGregor onto a check left. Crawford versus Garcia, Mikey Garcia or Danny Garcia. If it's Danny Garcia, then when I spoke to Crawford, the 2 interviews, he told me that he beat Danny Garcia in one of the 3 fights they had. But Crawford said 2 of the fights he had against Danny Garcia were robberies. He said that basically Danny Garcia had the crowd, and it was kind of like a pro Danny Garcia crowd behind. Mikey, do you expect tonight's fight to go to points or KO? I think if either one or the other points late on the fight, somebody will try and go for the KO. I'm actually expecting a KO in this fight. Do you think the body snatcher can win a world title, Ingram? Yeah, I do. I think if he goes down the WBA, if I were managing Dillian White, I'd go WBA route. The route with Lucas Brown and Fraser Quenda. I'd fight him down that route. I want to touch the WBC. I want to touch the IBF, go down the WBA, and that's a quiet route, and get him a world championship. How much do you think Stavern would take a step aside money? No less than 2.5 million step aside money, at least. I think 3 million. 3 million. If he doesn't take 3 million step aside money, you know, if it's going to be in the millions. There's going to be no thousand step aside. It's going to be in the millions. Then he's not going to step aside. Can't see it happening. McGregor might end up eating the ring post like Hatton. I can see it happening. Big Van. He's an ex-con mate of Peter Fury's and hates Eddie Hearn because he stole Jake McDonald off Dennis Hobson. Carly Garrett. Interesting. What are some of my suspicions as to who Carly Garrett is? But anyway, Dillian White or Stavern? I think Stavern. You've got to pick Stavern. Pro pedigree, who they fought, who they beat, who they've been beaten by. I would go with Stavern. The latest update is, as far as I hear it, is that there is still discussions going on. From what I understand, Mr. Stavern is off to have a meeting now, so I don't know what's happening on that. But as soon as I find out, we'll know. But I should, in the early hours of this morning, maybe probably after the Crawford fight, we'll know. Stavern, AJ, God knows. How far do you think Big Baby Miller can go? I don't know. There were moments about there's stuff about Big Baby Miller I liked, and there's stuff about Big Baby Miller I don't like. I don't like this idea when he puts his head, when he punches over the top, and he doesn't see punches coming back. You look at the Joe Washington fight. A fighter who fights the same way every single fight. Joe Washington cannot fight off the back foot. It just, as soon as you push Joe Washington onto the back foot, he's in trouble. I like Big Baby Miller. I don't know if he's a massive puncher, but he seems strong and sturdy. And I'd like to see Big Baby Miller versus someone like Dillian White, or Big Baby Miller versus Chisora. That's what I'd like to see where Big Baby Miller's actually at. Who lies more, Eddie Hearn or the sender of the Nigerian lottery emails? Promoter of Matchroom. Thoughts on the Cyclone Promotions going bust and Frampton leaving? Well, what would you do if you were potentially bust? The WBA route for White will be the rematch for AJ. I think he should go for the big shot of Wilder. I don't. I think it's a bad move. I think he should go down the WBA route for White. Big Baby Miller is a slapper and slaps his punches to Amir. That's said about Amir's wife as well. Big tough unit though. Stiverne Wilder, why? Well, mandatory. Wilder should have taken a fight. You say why? Let me ask you a question. Why has Deontay had 4 or 5 voluntary defenses? That man, since he's been WBC champion, has not had a mandatory defense yet. It's long overdue. So there you go. Who would you pick between Charlo and Danny Jacobs? I like Charlo, but I like Jacobs. I'm going with Charlo. What corpse will they feed Wilder next? Well, if Stiverne doesn't fight him, then Wilder's people would have paid a hell of a lot of money. Then let him fight Ortiz. I don't see what the big fuss about Ortiz is. How did I score it? Check my commentary on it, but it was close. I've checked the commentary on the fight and just go to the end of the fight. You'll hear my scores. Wilder's actually run out of dance partners. Joshua, you know, is going to fight Pulev, bothering with Wilder. Dylan White just finished fighting. Tony Bellew is negotiating with David Haye. So if that's the case, all these guys are negotiating. Parker's fighting Huey. Parker's fighting Huey. So Stiverne's still about. So Canelo or GGG? Canelo. I think GGG's on the slide. I think if Canelo puts GGG on the back foot and keeps him there, he beats him. What young prospect are you following at the moment? Who do you rate highly? Who's up and coming? There's a guy I found out about tonight. There's a guy I spoke to tonight, and he actually is a good friend of Lee Selby. Now check this guy's name out. His name is Mikel Andalon. Mikel Andalon. He's 1-0. He's won his first fight. And he fought a guy in his first pro fight with a record of 19, either 19-0 or 19-1. That's a guy that I'm interested in. Is Badou Jack about to whoop another Brit? You can put your money on it. And Joshua won't fight Wild Ortiz, but will fight Pulev, Bellew, and White. You know, there you go. Josh Taylor, of course, is one to watch. What do you make of on the Pac Horn fight? I don't know, but if Pacquiao fights Horn in a rematch, he knocks Horn out for sure. And probably, yeah. Yeah, so the guy's name is Mikel. See if somebody can look him up for me. His name is Mikel. I think, and Golon, something like that. It could be slightly wrong, but his name is. He basically fought Andrew Selby as an amateur, and Andrew Selby fought Lomachenko as an amateur, but this guy actually beat Andrew Selby pretty badly as an amateur, but he was maybe very, 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 very good. He made his pro debut a few weeks ago or a couple of weeks ago. Does Josh Taylor beat Broner? Well, Broner, the rise and fall of Adrian Broner, I think Broner is mentally shot. He's done. The only thing waiting for Brock to happen is get knocked out. Have you seen much of Devin Haney? Yes, I have seen a lot of him. Rashidi Ellis is the boy that I was keeping an eye on. I think that he's gone. Broner's gone mentally shot, gone, finished, kaput. So yeah. What do I think of Mayweather saying he's better than Muhammad Ali? In some ways, he is better than Muhammad Ali. I think that he's better promotionally than Muhammad Ali. I think he's better managed than Muhammad Ali. But in terms of being better than Muhammad Ali as a fighter, Ali sat on the ropes and took punishment later in his career. Ali was in prison, came out of prison. I don't know what Mayweather. I think Ali in this era. It'd be interesting how Ali would do in this era, and it'd be interesting to see what Mayweather had done in Ali's era. That's something I'm going to have to do a video on. Look at the rankings of when Ali was fighting, and put Mayweather there, and then put Ali in Mayweather's era, and see how Ali would have done. Skill for skill, Mayweather is undoubtedly better than Ali. Yeah, you've got to say that. As a showman and in terms of making money, he's undisputedly number one. You can't dispute that of any fighter in the world. Do you believe Eggington beats Carson Jones? No. Wilder should fight Stavern and Ortiz. Could be done by March 2018. He KOs both, in my opinion. Okay, we'll have to wait and see. He KO Stavern in the first fight, so I don't know where he gets him KOing in the second fight. And arguably, Wilder's a worse fight for the second fight than he was the first fight. I don't think Wilder's improved as a fighter, so I'm not sure how if he couldn't KO him when he was hungry and really doing well, I'm not sure how he KOs Stavern now, a lesser fighter. I don't know, but your guess is as good as mine. What Ali did for the sport outside the ring was comparable for what Mayweather has ever done. My point. Much respect to Muhammad, but I believe if you put him in the ring with any modern day high level heavyweight, he would be in trouble. Any heavyweight? Well, it's interesting. But Ali always found a way. And would Ali look the same as he did today? Would Ali still be that small Muhammad Ali if you've got him in this era? Would Ali be the size of a Larry Donald, Vanderfield? You know, or if Ali could be the size of, like, say, a Tyson Fury, for example, how would he done? You know, and you know, Miss Dr. has Stavern improved? I don't know if he's improved, but he's definitely better than he was the first fight. So that's an improvement as it is. Ali is a cruiserweight today. So if you've got then what's George Foreman? And he beat George Foreman. And our cruiserweights of today. Okay. The guy beat a solid Foreman who knocked out everyone. I'll tell you something today. I'll take a George Foreman. I'll take George Foreman. What you want about Ali? I'll take George Foreman today over any heavyweight you got today. Any heavyweight you got today. That includes Joshua. That includes any heavyweight today. I'll take George Foreman over any of the heavyweights today. The biggest punching heavyweight in history, and then not only could punch, he was strong as an ox. George Foreman in the heavyweight division today. Do you think it was stupid for Wilder to reject $4 million to fight White? No. Well, it's not $4 million. It's not $4 million he'd be getting. You've got to take out his manager's cut, his promoter's cut, his trainer's cut. So all these things you need to consider. Foreman fought like a retard. There's a reason Ali wouldn't rematch. Do you think it was evolution? 215 pounds was big. Now 230 is normal. Okay, 215 pounds. Evander Holyfield was an undisputed heavyweight champion in the world. He was able to drop Riddick Bowe, whom Galotto couldn't drop, whom Herbie Hyde couldn't drop. So he was able to drop Riddick Bowe and almost keep him to the canvas. Evander Holyfield, 215. Mike Tyson, 215. I understand when people say, oh, well, he's a small heavyweight. Well, hold on, Mike Tyson was 250. I never had anybody tell me Mike Tyson was a small heavyweight. people say Tyler's the beast. So I don't know. Where do you rate Bellew as a cruiserweight? I don't. Should have stuck around at cruiserweight, taking the one fight at heavyweight and moved back down to cruiserweight. We all know he didn't want to fight Briggs, in my opinion. So there you go. How far up is Vladimir on your all-time top 20? He isn't. He isn't. Vitali's up there. He isn't. Because Vladimir got knocked out by Lamont Brewster. Vladimir got knocked out by Ross Prutti. Those are the two guys that Vladimir got knocked out, beat by. And then you've got, Vitali is. Yeah, Vaughan only weighed 220 against Ali. Vlad, Josh, are you really seriously are you putting Joshua and Vladimir in the room with George Foreman? Big George would be a small weight. Yeah, and your point is what? So you're basically saying that George didn't fight guys bigger than him. You're talking about the biggest punch in heavyweight history. Anthony Joshua's going life and death with a guy who hadn't fought for almost 2 years in Klitschko. And you imagine if George Foreman's hitting you, come on, man. And you put Vladimir Klitschko in George Foreman, a guy who'd been knocked out by Ross Purity and got knocked out by Lamont Brewster and got dropped by Peter. Are you serious? Are you serious? Do you think AJ can replicate the career of Great Lennox? No. Don't. I just don't think the fighters are around today that Lennox had. Lennox had Holyfield, Tyson. Like Michael Grant would have been today's Deontay Wilder. The difference between Deontay Wilder and Michael Grant wasn't managed correctly. Deontay Wilder is managed correctly. Vlad could be mentioned with Vlad. Come on. No, man, you can't put Vlad in there. No, not Vlad. People are too nostalgic. No other sport would anyone from the 70s compete with today's athletes, bigger, faster, stronger. Really? So what you're basically saying to me is that George Foreman wouldn't be able to have the facilities that these guys got. So what you're basically saying, which just don't make no logic whatsoever, you're basically saying that George Foreman would stay in the 70s and Joshua wouldn't be born. What a dumbass statement. You'd have to bring Foreman into the 2000s, right? You bring Foreman into the 2000s, the same genetics, and then you'd have to be peak George Foreman. That means he would be able to have the facilities that Joshua was able to use, that Vladimir to use. That wouldn't make sense anyway. Vladimir's linear champion for 10 years. Granted, it was weak era, but he should surely top 20, maybe top 20. I didn't say he wasn't top 20. I said he weren't bloody in my top 10. Bron, in your opinion, what is 2018 super fight for boxing? 2018. The unification of the heavyweight division. Whoever the WBC champion is and whoever is the other belt holder, unification about 2018, the heavyweight division, I think, or cruiserweights. This guy talks rubbish. Was this the same guy hating so badly on Tyson Fury? All of a sudden, he doesn't interview with him and Tyson beats everyone. What are you talking about? Where are you from? And what are you talking about? There's always somebody who comes in the room and starts talking garbage. Mate, to be honest, I'm having a good night and I haven't really got in the mood. It's a good night. Bye-bye. The bigger heavyweights of today would take forward shots a little bit better because they're bigger themselves. It's just logic. No. How does that work out? No, you can't say the bigger heavyweights today because we don't know what George Foreman would look like today. George Foreman was a big guy, 6'3". Look taller doesn't make you better. Taller doesn't make you better. It just makes you taller. Okay? So, and Vladimir, Foreman had a good jab on him, but had a huge right hand. All it takes is one. Okay, look at every track and field record you're talking about history and making Foreman a different fight. I'm simply saying take Foreman from the 70s against today's fighters. Yeah, I will take him from the 70s and bring him in. I will take him in. He probably beat 7 guys all in one. He probably beat 7 guys in one night. Yes, Ingram. We get blocked, trying to ruin the vibe. Yeah, he's gone. Don't worry, he won't come back anytime soon. No, but the argument doesn't make sense. You're either gonna put Joshua. I tell you what, then. Okay, if that's the argument, then, and you want to bring Joshua, okay. Tell you what, I'll put him back in the 70s. Okay, let's see how he looks in the 70s. No, I'll tell you now, nobody's going to be taking 2 years unless they've been imprisoned to fight. So you can forget that one. Benny can't pull trigger, he's shot to bits. I'm saying weight-wise against 250 pounds. What mean you're a good fighter? So what you're basically saying is, what about when Mike Tyson was running through the heavyweight division? Mike was 210, 215. And he's running through guys with 250 pounds. In that case, with your theory, then Tony Tucker, Mitch Green, Revolta, Bone Crusher Smith, what would those guys have done? I don't. Joshua would have done damage in the 70s. Oh my God! Because life and death of a guy who's been out in the ring for 2 years. You're saying he does damage in that. Okay, fair enough. Foreman would beat these guys, but I'll take him a little longer, take them out because they're bigger to chop down. Really, I think we're going to have to look. I'm going to have to look at George Foreman's record and who he fought. Foreman that night, I think he fought 8 or 10 guys on one night. He knocked them all out, or beat them all one night. I want to go back and get that video, and we can see George Foreman. I'm not saying. Foreman was a phenomenal puncher. He's one of the greatest puncher in heavyweight boxing. George Foreman, Jimmy Young beat Young Foreman, acting like Foreman was invincible. Okay, then, right, in that case, then put Jimmy Young in as well. I'm not saying Jimmy Young. Ali, Jimmy Young. If Jimmy Young took Foreman's big punches, stick Jimmy Young in fight Anthony Joshua. Joshua puts his fist straight for Jimmy Young. Oh my God. I swear you just. Femi's in the top 3 in the 70 group. He's too big and powerful at the time. Okay. If you take Joshua back into the 70s, then I can take Lennox Lewis back in the 70s. Then I can take Evander Holyfield back into the 70s. Jimmy Young, 34 and 18. Yeah, but he's able to drop Foreman. And George Foreman was one of the biggest punches. Man, then. Yeah, okay, so that's what I'm saying. He will take those guys. Jimmy Young is Kevin Johnson, mate. Oh, no. Jimmy Young must have had some fighting heart to beating George Foreman that night. Foreman will knock out all today's heavyweight, thanks. But you know what? We're going to have to do a proper debate on this because to make sense of it, and we have to have certain dynamics and certain criteria to do it. I might even find my old boxing game. I've got an old boxing game called Title Bout Boxing. I might just do a live stream of it. If I put a guy from the 70s as your George Foreman and with a guy now, Anthony Joshua's here, it works out. So I might try my Title Bout Boxing game. It's all good, but oh my God. Femi would destroy the top 3. He'd be the top 3 in the 70s. Oh my good Lord, oh my Lord. See, so what? He beat Ken Norton and Larry Holmes. And wait, Ken Norton, Larry Holmes, Ernie Shavers, Big Cat Williams. Oh dear. No sports fans are as protective of old guys as boxing fans. Like saying the 70s defense would have spun got spun by Messi. Does a fully fit and motivated Tyson Fury do damage in the 70s? I had this debate earlier with Russell. I said Tyson only beat Vladimir Klitschko once. He'd have to beat Vladimir Klitschko again to solidify. So Tyson Fury's a question mark. Big George destroys Femi the grass. Where can I watch a live stream? Crawford and Indongo, Facebook. Tyson Fury would do damage if he lived in Bolivia. This is certainly a weak heavyweight division, period. AJS is an average bunch. Well, that's yet to be proven. It's yet to be proven. He's got to fight Deontay Wilder. He's got to fight Luis Ortiz. He's got to fight Bermane Stiverne. Those are 3 fights. He's got to fight Joseph Parker. That's 4. That's 4 fighters there already. He's got a big Baby Miller. So there's 5 guys I've thrown there at you. 5 guys. There is a guy I've got my eye on. He's Russian. I've seen one clip of him. I think he's got about 24 fights, 22 by KO, and he's lost 1 fight. Do you think AJ's a better version of Bruno? No. I think Bruno's better than AJ. Simple reasons. Bruno had a better jab than AJ. Much better jab than AJ. AJ has stupid power, though, boys. Give him some credit. Why am I forgetting Povetkin? Because of drugs cheat. That's why I'm forgetting Povetkin. And all those wins Povetkin had, including his knockout win over Perez, you've got to ask yourself the question, why? Bruno fought Bon Crusher Smith, Tim Witherspoon, Mike Tyson twice. Let's stick AJ in with peak Mike Tyson. And then let's stick AJ with Mike Tyson. God. Oh my God. Okay, fair enough. If you think that Anthony Joshua is better than Frank Bruno, I think that's guys have 1 world title. Okay, 1 major world title win, which was against Klitschko. Fine. Bruno lost against Lewis. He lost against Bron Crusher Smith. He lost against Boone. He lost against Mike Tyson twice. Okay. What does AJ have to do here to convince you? Do what Bruno did. Fight the best. Bruno fought Lewis. Fought Bron Crusher Smith. Fought Tim Witherspoon. Fought Mike Tyson twice. How can you say that AJ is better? He's only fought a guy that's been in for 2 years. If Bruno knocked out a guy who hadn't fought for 2 years, a former world champion, you would say he was a bum. The other day, people said that when Tyson Fury beat Klitschko, it was over the hill. Joshua beats him 2 years later on. The guy ain't been in the ring for 2 years, hopping off a bad loss, and he's the best thing since sliced bread. I don't understand it. I'm not saying Bruno lost to all these guys, and all those guys are top heavyweights, and all those guys are world champions. Mike Tyson, Tim Witherspoon, Bron Crusher Smith, Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis, undisputed champion, I believe. Mike Tyson, undisputed champion. Bron Crusher Smith, world champion. Tim Witherspoon, world champion. So he's got beat by the very, very best, and 2 of them were undisputed champions. Okay. So I mean, people want to hear my opinion, but then when I give them my opinion, they're going to say you know, it's not about favoritism. It's about, you know, following the story up. AJ doesn't have a jab, in my opinion, in comparison to Bruno. But he lost to them all. I mean, yeah, but he fought them. He fought them. There was no ducking. Bruno wasn't ducking nobody. He fought the very best. He fought his way to become a champion. He fought the best. There was no ducking and diving and trying to be smart or slick and clever. He fought the very best. Say that about AJ, yeah. So that's my thing. I'm not knocking AJ. I'm saying he's got a very young career at the moment. Let's see how his career pans out over 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You're talking about a guy in, well, you'll say the fight the best. Why doesn't he fight Ortiz? Why doesn't he fight Ortiz? Do you think Bruno would have swerved an Ortiz fight? Do you think Bruno would have swerved the Ortiz fight? Bruno would have swerved the Ortiz fight. Tim Witherspoon, Bone Crusher Smith, Mike Tyson twice, Lennox Lewis. White, Martin, Brazil, Molina, Vladimir, Putin. Pay-per-view fights there, and the best winner was the life and death of the guy, 41 years old. LOL. This is not. Thank you very much. I've just made. Carly's just made the point right there. AJ just beat Vlad. That Vlad would have iced Potter. That Vlad has been on his backside for 2 years. That Vladimir Klitschko had been beaten by Tyson Fury 2 years previous. Sorry. And if Luis Ortiz was going to fight AJ, he would have fought him already. That's why he was brought over to the UK to fight Malik Scott and fight bloody Dave Allen to keep him out of the picture. The guy has 19 fights. Give him Jesus. Give him time. So what do you want? You want to say he's got 19 fights. You want to stick him in the 70s and say beat everybody, but then the next flip you want to say, well, hold on a second, he's 19 years old, give him time. What is it? You don't make sense. You're either going to be on the side that he's fight in the 70s and destroy everyone in the 70s, or be in the top 3 in the 70s, or you're going to say he's 19 years old, let's give him time to. What I said, how can you say that AJ is better than Bruno? It's like that garbage when people were talking about how Price was going to dominate and be the next second coming of the Klitschko's and garbage. So AJ beating Vlad is better win than any Frank Bruno win, yes or no? Frank Bruno beat Oliver McCall. Oliver McCall knocked out Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis had come off wins against Tony Tucker, Frank Bruno, Phil Jackson. Who else? So yeah, he made 3 defenses and beaten Razor Ruddock. So think what you want of that. Bruno beat Prime McCall, who was better than Vlad, as he KO'd Lennox. Put that into just 90 fights. Joshua's achieved more than Bruno's whole career. Excuse me, ask you a question. If you're going to go down that route, 19 fights to win the world title off. Let's put this perspective right. If it wasn't for boxing politics, you know who has to belong to. So let's not go there, because the night that Vladimir fought Tyson Fury, nobody wanted AJ in the ring with Vladimir, and like dog's hell chance to fight. So I don't know what people are talking about. You put things in a historical perspective. When Tyson Fury night, nobody's talking about AJ beating Klitschko. Give him time. He started his career. He's young. So don't come now telling me crap about 19 fights. Who did George Foreman fight in his 19th fight? George Foreman's record speaks for itself. Don't go down there with the 19 fights crap. AJ in a poor era. Bruno matched hard versus Bronco Smith, Witherspoon, Tyson. That's it. I think that's it. Doesn't out there, AJ. Yeah, I think there are a lot of people talking here that are not historically looking and putting things in their perspective. So there you go. Right. I think I've done enough of this entertaining for one night. Everyone's got an opinion, and I'm not saying I'm just trying to be logical. If you're going to do this logical debate of bringing a guy from one era to another, then okay. If you're going to say to me, oh, fighters are better now than it was then what I would do is get the fighter there and put him back into time. I'm not buying into the AJ. Not saying he's not a good fighter, but you have to do things over a period of time. I'm not going down that route because a guy has one fight that suddenly makes him beating everybody. That's what you call hype. That's media hype. That's people listen too much of Sky Sports. Let's see how his career unfolds. It's not just I'm right. Look at the history of boxing. The history of boxing and legacy. That's what we're talking about. They just got 19 fights. So let's see what he does in 29 fights. Let's see what 39 fights. A lot of these people on here tonight are the same people that turn around and when David Price smashed Woody Harrison, saying he'll take over the clip, goes, if you don't believe me, go look on YouTube. Look on YouTube. And then a couple of fights down the road, disaster. So I think to have a few years, see how AJ career actually unfolds. Thank you very much. That makes sense. That's logical thinking. AJ is shy. He's got 3 gifts in Olympics and was gifted Fury belts versus Martin and then Vlad. Now in a weak era, he's a good heavyweight. No boxing then. Right, now you know you're late to the party, Mr. Hot Studdish, and I'm out of here. Thank you all again. Don't forget to rate, subscribe. I stuck around it longer than I was going to. I'm out of here. Have a good night. Thank you for watching, and all the best for Crawford and Indongo tonight. Wilder is number 1. He's number 1 heavyweight in the world. Are you not a live stream match? Good night, guys. Take care, guys and girls. And to guys and girls, good night. Take care. Hope you enjoy the boxing tonight. You've been watching BWTM Sports.